Woo! How about that one?
That's our new leaders right there.
Big Silly!
University of Montevallo, 24-96. National champions, Wallace State, Briar and Clinton. What's up, everybody? Welcome into this latest episode of the Rapala We Are Collegiate Bass Podcast. Going to be recapping the AFTCO Collegiate Bass Open, second stop of the 2023-24 season on the Bass Pro Shops Collegiate Bass Fishing Series. Took place just a little over a week ago at Lake Darnell in Russellville, Arkansas. The winners of that tournament, Wyatt Pearman Ridge Rutledge from top 25 ranked Campbellsville University, had a two-day total weight of 28.13 pounds. Those will be our guests on this new episode here today. So let's go ahead and bring you in. Wyatt, you guys are traveling to your next tournament already. Funny how quickly that happens, but let's look back at what happened just a couple weeks ago there at Lake Darnell. We're about 10 days removed from it. Are the emotions still pretty high as it set in that you guys won a major collegiate event?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. This morning we hopped in the truck to head to South Carolina. I was like, man, about a week ago, however long it was, we still were like, man, we won. It was pretty crazy. It was a blessed week. We kind of forget about it, and then it hits us. We're like, just reflect back on it. It was a pretty special weekend, that's for sure.
It's definitely each angler's goal as they take out to a tournament. Over 240 teams, close to 450-plus anglers competed there at Lake Darnell. And to be able to best that elite field, I believe 21 of the top 25 ranked teams in the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia had anglers there on hand competing. So big field, big victory, definitely something to be proud of. Ridge, same question to you before we get into the specifics of the fishing and everything else that took place. But what's it been like for yourself? People reaching out, telling y'all congratulations, all of that. What's the moment been like to be able to get that big victory and now kind of sit back and soak in the glory?
Pretty much kind of like what Wyatt said, being a week or so after we had won, we still kind of just recap on it and think we just won a college tournament, and with everyone just calling and congratulating us, it's we're very just thankful for the opportunity we got to fish and all that.
Let's talk about how it all played out. So day one, you guys had 14.72 pounds. I believe it's just 0.022 of a pound, 0.02 pounds behind first place. So you're right there in it. Maybe just one coal or one little thing your way, this, that, or the other, and you might have been in first place after day one, but that wasn't the case. So y'all were trailing in second place. You go out on day two, weigh in 13.41 pounds, and the day one leaders drop off. You guys end up getting the victory by about 1.5 pounds over second place. Talk a little bit about the event, Wyatt. You guys come in on the first day. You're in second. Was that a little bit discouraging, hoping to be in first, or is it one of those deals where you always hear people talk a little bit about, hey, we don't want to be in first. We want to be the ones going out and trying to catch somebody on the second day to fish with less pressure. Did that factor in at all?
No. As the wise saying, you can never win it on the first day, but you sure can lose it. And after we had our weight, about 1 o'clock, we knew we might not be in the lead. We didn't think we'd be that close to the lead, but we sure knew we'd have a shot coming into that second day. And when we all weighed in, and we were 0.02 in the lead, we knew we were out of the lead, we knew we were having a really good shot. We left our area that first day around 1 o'clock just to save our fish to have enough. We had a really good feeling about it the next day, and it was a good thing we did because we didn't think we could have caught as much as we did, but we were sure blessed and were fortunate enough to catch what we had that second day.
Ridge, tell me a little bit about the area that you were fishing. When you get to Lake Darnell, we heard it from the preview with Matt, the winner from the previous year. There's a little bit of anything and everything that you can do if you want to. I know some anglers were attempting to lock down that might not have played out on the first day, but they made it down on the second day. The main river channel, we heard talk that the water was a little clear, but they're mostly spotted bass hanging out there. But as the anglers crossed the stage, we heard them catching fish out there as well. And then you get back off in these little bayous and these creeks and different areas where, this is a river system. It can spread out and sprawl, and there's little places to tuck back up in. That's kind of where these fish are probably transitioning to. We might have been just a hair early as a big cold front really hadn't pushed through, though it did the first part of the tournament. That was one of the first ones of the season. So the reaction of the fish and the bait fish pushing back maybe not quite taking place yet. Tell me a little bit about what y'all targeted. Did you avoid some of the crowds? Did the wind over those 2 days factor into where y'all set up? Kind of talk a little bit about the area that you targeted.
The areas we were trying to target were just trying to get away from a lot of the field and find the spots that we were fishing did have the clear water and stuff like that. But I think the best part of where we were fishing, there really wasn't a lot of boats. We seen maybe one or two people fish like past some of our main spots, so we knew there wasn't a lot of boat traffic up towards where we were fishing at. So I think that helped out our bite, the areas we were in.
Out there on Darnell, you've got rock, wood. Some anglers I know are kind of going off the bank a little bit and finding some stuff that maybe wasn't being pressured as much, whether that be brush or little drop-offs, creek channel swings, and stuff like that. Wyatt, tell me kind of what was the main key structure? I know I've looked at a little bit of footage already, and there was some laydowns and some wood maybe on some of the banks you were fishing. What were the fish setting up on? There's also a lot of shoreline grass. Did that key in either? Kind of talk a little bit about where your bites were coming from as y'all went down the bank.
Yeah, so Ridge kind of hit on it. During practice, we really want to try to find a main river because current plays such a big deal in any place that has a lot of current. And what we found, it was a big backwater, and it had current coming through it. And the biggest thing for us was getting away. We were fortunate enough in our actual zone we caught them, there wasn't any boats. And there was a bunch of deadheads and laydowns, and you kind of just had to go on a milk run. You just had to milk through the area and let the current set fish back up every hour, every 2 hours, and you could go back to the same stretches of wood and deadheads and get bites, multiple bites out of the same stuff you caught a fish on an hour ago. You just had to let the current reload it and feel the conditions. And when the fronts were moving, there was a lot of wind in front, so you kind of just had to play it hour by hour. Where the wind was blowing, there was a lot of bait. Bait was a main key player, about 2-inch long. Shad were back in there, and we just they would switch. The second day they're in a completely different zone than they were the first day. We just had to follow the wind, let the current reload it, and just play it by hour.
Yeah, bait fish in the fall, definitely something that you always hear people talk about. You can find the bait, you're going to find the fish. Sounds like that's what y'all were doing. Baits, lures that you were using to target those fish. I know that I've seen a spinnerbait already in some of the video that I've seen. Rich, talk a little bit about the combination that y'all were throwing at them. Did y'all flip at all? Did the conditions, being post-frontal, it was never bright bluebird sunny, though. It kind of felt like the cold front was just pushing through the entire tournament. Did that allow y'all to keep moving, go with the wind, use the cloud cover to your advantage, or did y'all ever have to slow down at all as conditions maybe got a little more difficult?
Having the wind, it did help out the spinnerbait bite some, and then the slowing down part, Wyatt normally would stay up on the trolling motor, just throwing the blade, and then I'd just go behind him, flipping, and just trying to catch those fish that didn't want to catch that spinnerbait, and that's what we did during practice and during the tournament.
Spinnerbait bite's always fun. It's something that maybe gets a little bit overlooked because there's all these new gadgets and stuff out there that you can throw, different ways to innovate with the swim bait or topwater lures and things like that. But when it comes to being able to throw a spinnerbait, it's fun to just blow down the bank and be able to go catch fish. And that's kind of what Arkansas River sets up like. It has that, it sets up very well for that bite. I know that when I was competing at Lake Darnell back in my college days, I never fished that late into the fall, but in the spring, a spinnerbait was about the only thing we locked in our hands and you went down the bank and fished with. So cool to hear that factoring back in. We're talking with Wyatt Pearman Ridge Rutledge from Campbellsville University, winners of the AFTCO Collegiate Bass Open at Lake Darnell in Russellville, Arkansas. Wyatt, let's talk about that day two. I know that you mentioned wanting to bring this up. those final minutes of the second day of tournament competition. You entered the day knowing that your margin was tight. You knew that your weight on day one was a little over 14 pounds, and that most of the time at Darnell you see a bit of a drop-off, but it kind of jockeys from day one to day two. You see some teams on day one not have as good a weight, and on day two they'll come knock out of the park, of which we saw two of the bigger bags of the event come in on day two. So for yourselves, you knew that you needed to do something to be able to put yourself past the edge. You knew the weight that was in the live well at the time. Tell me how those last couple minutes played out on day two that ended up being critical in y'all getting the victory.
Yeah, those last 10 minutes were huge. From history at Lake Darnell, it don't matter what you catch this first day, you have to back it up with another solid bag to have a shot. And before that last 10 minutes, when we got our cameraman out of the boat, I want to say we had an hour run, and we told ourselves we wanted to leave at 12:30, and it was like 12:24. We got to the mouth where we were, and I said, let's just go down the stretch and see what happens. And it would have been really tight with what we had. We didn't weigh them that day. We were just cool being. We didn't want to know. We were just going to see what the scale said. We didn't have a set target. We were going to catch as much as we could. And that last 6 minutes, how Ridge got in the front with the blade and I got in the back flipping, and he threw over a lay down and caught one, probably a 2.5. That helped a little bit. And I netted him, and I was back there beaming. And as soon as I threw my fish back over, I look up and he's just in the sunlight, just doubled over. He's like, dude, it's a big one. And I reached out there, grabbed the net, and when we got him in the boat, we knew we had a really good opportunity, and that all we needed to do was get back to the state park and get them weighed in. We knew it was going to be close. We didn't know exactly what we had, and then when we seen 13 whatever pounds pulled up, we knew we had a very, very strong shot back.
Ridge, now that we kind of know how the last little bit played out, what were the nerves like coming back to weigh in? You pull up to Lake Darnell State Park, you get checked in, and you get ready to come weigh in. And I believe that right before y'all came up, the day one leaders had maybe already weighed in, so you knew that you didn't need – you knew what you needed and that it wasn't maybe as much as you initially thought. Talk through the nerves of coming back to weigh in. Your coaches are there, your teammates are there, and you've got a chance to ultimately win.
Coming back in, it was really nerve-wracking just because, you never know what other people got. You don't know if the people in front of you caught a good bag and they're going to put up a fight. And whenever we had finally got our bag and figured out what some other people that had really good bags on day one had, we were like, we'll definitely be a runner-up to take the lead. And right before we were getting ready to go up to weigh in, there was a team that weighed in, and I think they had jumped up at first, and we didn't know if we were going to have enough to put us in that top spot, but sure enough, whenever we weighed them, they had jumped us up in the first, and then I think the nerves set in a lot right there too, because you don't know if someone was going to come in with a better bag and take the lead from you.
For the major victory, finishing first place there at the AFTCO Collegiate Bass Open, you guys earn a $1,000 Bass Pro Shops gift card, $500 AFTCO gift card, 2 Power Pole certificates, Rapala Crush City tackle package, 2 Bahio sunglasses, 2 Turtle Box speakers, claiming the $500 ACA logo contingency and $500 Garmin tournament rewards. Close to $6,000 total in prizes and contingencies. No entry fee tournament. Wyatt, tell me what it's like to be able to go home with all that stuff for a victory at a tournament where you didn't have to pay to enter.
Oh, it was amazing. Collegiate Bass, I think they hold the industry standard of having an amazing tournament, and y'all are so focused around the college angler and just set up an amazing platform for free entry. There's not many tournaments you can fish around these days that are free. Just to have that opportunity to fish on that level at such a large-scale tournament, it's truly a blessing, and we couldn't thank you guys enough.
Yeah, you bet, man. It's really fun to be able to host those tournaments and see everybody, the pictures at each of the 2 events this fall. as the anglers are holding all their stuff, you almost don't even have enough hands and arms and space in a picture to be able to get everything in it to show what y'all have won. But really awesome. Great job for y'all to be able to take that stuff home. Ridge, yourself, I listed off the Garmin tournament rewards as one of the contingencies that y'all cashed in. That was with the Garmin that was on y'all's boat. Talk a little bit about it. We just put the feature article up on the website this week about you claiming that contingency bonus and Garmin tournament rewards. Just talk a little bit here now on this podcast what it's like to be able to claim that.
Very exciting, just because, I mean, one big thing that's happened in fishing is Garmin with the forward-facing sonar and all that. And then when ACA gives out these rewards that you can go out and help you buy that kind of stuff or upgrade if you already got it, it's just really, like, thankful for having those sponsors on for, like, collegiate, just college tournaments.
Along with the valuable prizes and payouts there as it pertains to the contingencies as well, anglers were able to earn double points for their schools to count towards the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia. First place there earns 1,750 points. Campbellsville, also's next highest finishing team to count for those double points, was in 15th, so a lot of valuable points there on the line. Wyatt, you've been here for a couple years. You've been in the hunt. Campbellsville continues to push up those rankings, growing and doing better each year. This year, sitting in the top 25 coming into this tournament, 20th to be exact, as y'all entered Lake Darnell there at the AFTCO Collegiate Bass Open. Maybe not where you hope to be, but a lot of ground that can be made up this fall as y'all start to get out and compete some more. This is going to go a long ways to helping out the club. Talk about the first place victory as it pertains to y'all's national ranking and getting Campbellsville moving up.
Oh, when it comes to Team of the Year, Campbellsville in the last few years, we've completely changed the outlook on trying to win that Team of the Year. That's the number one goal we have now, is to win that Team of the Year. This little jump, boost we got from winning this and having another team, and I want to say they got 15th. Having this little boost, it's some momentum that we needed to hop back up there and have a shot and just fuel the fire for the next few tournaments in the fall, and then, of course, this spring. And gave us a little boost, and hopefully we can take that momentum and run with it, because Team of the Year is what we're shooting for.
Ridge, ultimately the goal is going to be to win. Tell me, what's got to happen over the course of the next 6 or 8 months for y'all to be able to take home that victory and hold the trophy as the number one ranked team, claiming Campbellsville University's first title ever.
To win School of the Year, it'd be a very wild experience, and just very thankful for the sponsors on the collegiate side for helping put these tournaments on, and personal team sponsors for helping us get to these tournaments, and the money that they donate to help us travel.
That'll wrap it up for our conversation with Wyatt Pearman and Ridge Rutledge, winners of the AFTCO Collegiate Bass Open at Lake Darnell. Guys, great job. Great way of kicking off the fall season as we get ready to move into the spring. Like we mentioned, a bunch of prizes, great tournament competing, and also valuable points for y'all towards that Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia. Thanks for joining us today. Safe travels on the road, and best of luck at your next event.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Fishing is all about connecting with nature. Then grabbing nature by the lip and holding it up for a picture.
If you want to be here, it all starts here. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we have the widest selection of the quality brands you love to get you outdoors. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, our friendly, knowledgeable outfitters will help you find the right products for your next trip. Shop with confidence with our low price guarantee. Plus, club members save even more on great gear with exclusive member pricing. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, voted America's best outdoor retailer.